Welcome back to the table, everyone. So yesterday I had played through the first couple turns here of this scenario, just kind of running through it. And when we got to about an hour of filming time, like hour and 20 minutes, somewhere in there, I was thinking, that's probably just a little much. Nobody really wants to watch me for 2 hours or 2.5 hours play through. But we ended at such a place that I was like, I really want to see what happens, because we had left off where, and just kind of to clean up, I took all the fired markers off. We had finished turn 2. We were left with a situation where, here was destroy trucks. I just had a counter, and I took it and I looked at it, and then no, wrong one. Where? Oh no, I lost a counter that I was talking about and looking at it and went, oh, here it is, never mind. We ended, and I still had like one truck to hunt down. It's the one up here, this truck. And then I drew the ferocity card so that I could have a Lycan jump in and actually try to hand-to-hand tear apart this tank. And it was like, I told you about it, but let's do it and see what happens. So what I'm going to do is zoom in the camera a little bit, because down here the action has gone past the wrecked vehicles down here. So we're going to kind of focus through this area. Now, because we ended abruptly, we didn't pull Ledetta out of this hand-to-hand. I guess kind of technically she won, because I think she caused some damage, and I don't think she has to retreat. So I'm looking here at closest. I was looking at this. Defeated attackers return to the hex from which they entered the assault hex. Defenders attempt to retreat away from the attackers as per the rules under 7.1. So defenders' retreat must be in a general direction away from the attacking forces. If the defender must retreat into a hex containing 2 friendly combatants, it must continue retreat. So they're going to fall out because Ledetta had attacked and damaged the truck and the tank unit. Well, she disrupted the tank unit, but the truck, in my mind, is going to have to retreat out of the hex. But defenders overall kind of lost, so they're going to retreat back. Since the attackers in essence are kind of coming from this direction, they're falling back. So even though we didn't damage, but we did disrupt and we did cause more hits and damage technically, so they're the ones that fall back, just totally surprised and shocked by the ferocity of this attack, not knowing entirely what is actually happening to them. So they're just like, we're getting out of here. And so Ledetta is going to have to follow through a little bit. And then we left Tintani down here and a Lycan down here, so they could maybe hop in and attack that tank here in a minute. That's pretty much where we left off. So I want to see if we can follow through with these attacks and destroy that last truck and damage a tank. So with that in mind, we're going to go to turn 3 just to kind of see what happens. So we're going to roll. I'm going to roll 1 die. I don't have an extra colored. You know what I can do? I have a couple 6-sided dice over here. So we'll see red for the Soviets, black for the werewolves. Werewolves win it. All right, so they'll go first. So we got initiative, draw an action card. So we're going to draw a werewolf action card, another burst of speed. Hold on a second here. All right, tried to choke there, so cough off camera. All right, so we drew, well, this is a good one. If it's the, we'll use this for the Lycan. It's the burst of speed. It says fueled by, it's another one we have. They get to double their speed. So again, if something tries to run away, we can jump on it. Then the Soviet player draws for the motherland. Ooh, another raise the morale of all Warsaw Pact units by 1. That actually had huge impact on the last time we played yesterday, because they actually had quite a few rolls for saves where they rolled 4s, and that's the new save number that they'll have. And this can be played during rally, so that's probably exactly what they're going to play. For some reason, I think I have too many cards drawn than I need to. 2 when they started, second turn. You know what? I'm thinking I had an extra card down here for some reason. Threw myself off. Well, I've got my werewolf cards. We didn't play any yet. And then I've got For the Motherland. Okay, so werewolves are first. We drew action cards. It is the rally phase. So the Soviet player is going to play For the Motherland, boosting their morale up to 4, because they actually have a disrupted unit here. The Lycans, they have a 1 disrupted unit. I thought they had 2, but they got 1. So they have a morale of 4. So they're going to go for it. Nope, that unit will stay disrupted. Then we have the Soviet, and their new morale is a 4. Oh, they failed too. So unfortunately, both of those units will stay disrupted. And here we have the tank and the truck are both disrupted, but they have the aid. I'm going to roll for the truck first, because that's what we're trying to get through. Alright, and I'm going to spin my re-roll for the Soviet player. Let's see if we can get that truck. Ah, lucky. Okay, so the truck is no longer disrupted. Let's roll for the tank. They have a morale of 4 now for the turn. Ooh, didn't quite get it. So the truck is going to try to somehow get out of there. And we'll leave the truck there. Alright, then I think we already checked it. Yeah, so I think we already rolled for that one. So they'll stay disrupted. They'll stay disrupted. No, I didn't roll for that. The Lycan player, they stay disrupted. Alright, so after we check for the rally phase, we are going to do the fire phase. And the Lycan goes first. Now, werewolves can't fire. They do close assault. But I have a militia unit here with an RPD and another militia unit. What was in here? A T-64. Can't really hurt that one, even with an RPD. We don't have any armor piercing factors there, so they're kind of useless in this regard. They might be able to do some close assault, but yeah, I don't feel very confident with that. So yeah, well, let's see. So I got a militia unit here, and there's infantry. Okay, we can do that. Our infantry will shoot at their infantry. So we have a firepower of 4, and because that's adjacent, we get 1 column shift. Now, because I've zoomed the camera in, it might actually get harder to see this. I'm trying to keep like the dice. Let me just shift it over a little bit. And again, it's still going to be very small text on the chart for you to see. But, you know, let's see how it works out. We got firepower 4. We're adjacent. So that's going to be 1 shift to the right. So I'm on the 6th column. And they are in the open. So they're just going to take it. So we roll a 0. That is about as perfect as we can get, because that says 6 hits. Now the color bands will represent critical hits for like artillery. And then if the blue bands would be like out of ammunition checks, but that doesn't apply to anything that we're doing here, so I just ignore the color bands. But the Soviet player, that infantry, they have to make 6 saves, but they are on a 4. They're already disrupted, so there's not much left for them to do except roll a whole bunch of saves. And they rolled pretty good, because the 2 is a save, the 1 is the save, that 2 is a save, that 4 is a save. They came so close, because from disrupted to now reduced, and since they're disrupted and reduced, they get taken out of the game, and the BTR 70 is left behind, and the militia scores a victory. Wow, they really got in there and tore them up. Okay, so then firing alternates, and there's a lot of Soviet fire that we could do. So for example, this T-80 or T-64 is going to shoot at 10 Tani, because why not? We have 10 firepower, and we have one positive column shift to the right because it is adjacent, and then because that's a leg unit, there's one defensive shift back to the left. So rolling on the 10 column, here comes the tank firing high explosive shell with a +1 sub number to its roll. So a 0 down to, wow, up to a 1. That's really good. That's as good as they're going to get. And it's on the 10 column. That says 7. So we're going to have to roll some dice. So that's not looking good for 10 Tani there. Here we go. Whoops. Okay, so there's, I think one of those was a 1 and I bumped it. Okay, so first of all, 4 hits. So let's keep that in mind. I have to roll 1 extra one. I'm going to roll one of those saves. Okay, 4 hits. Now, remember, if we look at our character cards, they have regenerate, fearsome. I was looking to see, he doesn't have the shield. Alright, some of these Lycan units have a shield, and what that does is that lets them negate the first hit that they have. Well, not so for our good friend here. So he takes 4 hits. So what I do is I take his hit point tracker that I'm going to keep off to the side here, and we just, take 4 hits. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's on the flip. Whoops. Alright. Now, oh, alright. Luckily he's got regeneration, because that was actually a really good hit. Now that puts him on the flip. So that means is we flip the counter. That was actually a pretty devastating strike. But they do have regenerate. So on the next turn, if we get that far, he could actually get a point back or automatically go from disrupted to undisrupted. But, oh yeah, and he gets, oh, hold on. I guess what we should do is 1 hit. Oh, he might actually be fine, because 1 hit will disrupt, and then 1, 2, 3. So he is actually down to 4 right before he flips. So yeah, first hit is a disruption. So when he gets his next turn during like the rally, regeneration will let him go from disrupted to undisrupted. And if he doesn't get shot anymore, he can start to heal that back, because werewolves are incredibly strong. Alright, I have no more militia that I can shoot with. So we'll look to see if the Soviet player wants to shoot with anything else. Disrupted, disrupted, fired, fired, disrupted. But we have this tank right here, and they're going to fire into this hex and take out the... Go for the militia. They have a stronger... Who's got a better... They got... we definitely want to take out the militia. The RPD has a close assault factor of 4, but the asterisk means they can't initiate. So they're going to go ahead and shoot right into that militia unit. So they're same kind of thing. 10 firepower, goes pop 1 shift to the right because it's point blank or short range, and then back 1 left because, oh actually I forgot. Infantry, and this would have affected the werewolf, I completely forgot, they get 2. Infantry units get 2 shifts, so there's a chance that 10 Tani might have taken 1 or 2 less points of damage. So actually they're going to go from the 10 column, 1 column shift to the right, and then 2 shifts, 1, 2, down to the 8 column. I mean, it's slightly better. I think 10 Tani still would have taken a nice big hit, but the T-64 rolls, add 1, it's a 3. Wow, they're shooting really good today. That's 5 saves for the militia. They can do it. They have a morale of 4. I've seen it done before, just not recently. Wow, but look how close they came. A 0 is a save, 0 is a save, 2 is a save. So that's disruption and then a flip. So good on them. And then just to stack management, disrupted on top of them. Got to remember there's a disrupted in there. And the T-64 gets a fired. And then lastly, since that tank was disrupted, the truck has no firing. This BRDM2 is going to take a shot at Lycan, and I'm running out of fire markers, so we'll have to transfer one up. I guess I could pop another one. What do I got here? That's a moved. I wonder if I take one of these disrupted, just doing marker management. So we'll put a disrupted here. Alright, because we're going to fire with that BRDM, and I'll need a fired for up here in a second. But let's do this. 6 up into the open, so it's a 6. But then there's one shift to the right for being in the open, so it's an 8. Roll high. We don't want our werewolves to get all shot up. It's an 8, which is cross-reference onto the, what did we say, 8 column? It's 2. 2 hits. And she doesn't have a shield either. So she takes 2 hits. Now she starts at 6, takes 2. She's now down to 4. So, ow. And she doesn't regenerate. Ooh. So she might want to fall back if she takes 1 or 2 more hits. Ouchie. Alright, well, that's the way it happened. So that would fired. Now this group will fire, and they're going to take out Lycan. So me attacking that truck might not work out, because this BTR, they're going to combine. So that's a 6. They get 1 shift to the right for being combined, and then they get 2 more. Now, one thing I'm going to look up, because I forgot, is I thought there was a limit on how many positive modifiers you apply. And I thought it was at 2, but, you know, that's the way my memory works. So what I'm doing is looking for shifts. Auto cannons, hit on champions, good stuff here. I thought it was going to say here. It's one of those things where I always, like, I remember reading something, then I can't find it. So I'll go ahead and pause, come back once I remember where I found it and let you know. Okay, I was just checking, and it does mention in a side note that the maximum amount of shifts you're allowed in defense is 3, but I didn't see a limit on how many shifts positive. So this works out, I think, just fine. So it's going to be starting on the 6th column, and then 1 column shift for being adjacent, and then 2 because there is a non-disrupted vehicle firing alongside. So that's going to bring it up to 12. So 1, 2, 3. All right, they're on the 12 column. Uh-oh. She might get knocked out. Oh, they roll a 9. Thank goodness. But that is 3 checks. 3 saves for Lycan. I don't think she saved last time, so let's get a couple saves now. Come on. Ooh, 3, 1, 2. She does flip. Uh-oh, that could be... Oh, lose 1 hit. That's still on the flip, though. Let's lose a hit. She had that luck. Champions that come on get a luck. Which means I also needed to put a luck down here on Tentani for when he does his thing. Which he probably could have lost a hit, but he still took a bunch of damage. He's disrupted. Oh, yeah, and I forgot. Lycan, we forgot to disrupt her. Because one of those hits would be a disrupt. And which means she hasn't flipped. I keep forgetting that they still need to get it disrupted before you do all the flipping and stuff like that. So she's still somewhat okay. But the problem is, because she's disrupted, can't participate in combat. Urgh, that's frustrating. Yeah, and I don't have a card that would just let them get rid of the disruption right away, because the turn is already going. So the fire phase this time was super important for the Soviet player, because that did put some damage on big hitters. So this should have a fire marker as well. So I had enough to cover everyone. And then you still have your roll, which we didn't use. I guess we could have used, but we didn't. Alright, so that's the fire combat. Then we come down to move. So we've got this truck here that, of everything here that has done stuff, this truck is ready to drive out of here. And that's where we might have problems. But don't worry, I thought about that because I think, unless I put it away, you know what? I think I've already brought out all my militia units. I thought I had one more militia unit. So if the truck came through, it has to go through or near woods at some point. I probably could have popped in one more unit, which I think I can. I think I can. Let's see here. Ooh. Nope. Not going to work. I thought there's a card where I can incite, and that's bring like an armed mob onto the table, but it says it has to be adjacent to a clan unit. Problem is, once that truck drives through, that's it. Now, it does say that you can not drive through enemy combatants, but let's see, there's two vehicles here, but I can drive my truck through here because there's only one friendly vehicle, and they Lycan don't exert a zone of control, plus they're disrupted. So right now, this truck, I think, is going to get away. A little disappointing, because it's going to go one movement point because that's clear, plus now it's moved downhill, and then drive right around. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so this won't create a huge victory for the Soviet player. I think at this point the Lycans could withdraw. Some of those trucks got away, but in points, if the Lycan can just fade away and leave, they'll still come away with a victory. I was hoping we could get maybe a solid, decisive victory, but that's not going to happen. There's no way I can, if I can clear off the disruption, because Lycan doesn't even have regeneration, so she has to roll to get rid of that disruption marker. And then even if she does, if they get movement, like I just don't see it happening, sadly, because she can play a card for speed. She has 10 movement points though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If they get initiative, she could run onto the vehicle. And there is a rule that if the hex you're running into with like Lycans, if you run into it during the movement, the unit you're attacking gets like defensive fire, but the truck doesn't have defensive fire. So she could move onto the truck and then prevent the truck from leaving. So there's a chance. And then we have this Lycan unit here that has a chance to tear up a tank, just to show how that works out. So let's keep going here. We're going to say that we're done with movement. The Lycan player is going to be fine. It's not going to move into this. It could move into the T-64 spot because it's already fired, but when it does a close assault, it'll just move in for free and not have to worry about return fire. So fire phase is done, movement phase is done, close assault phase. So we pop in, boom, and no other close assaults because everything is either disrupted or has fired. So we have no other eligible units. No, I take it back. The Lycan did. The RPD unit, yeah, it's not going to jump onto anybody because it can't really hurt. It can't because it's got the asterisk. So really, this is all I've got right now for combat. So let's take a look at what we have. I'm just going to move the camera in now for a close-up because, yeah, we'll kind of call this one done. Like I said, I could do one more. I'll do a roll. If the Lycans get initiative, there's a chance that they can chase down the truck and win. That's if we get initiative, and we can get rid of that disrupted marker on Lycan. She's the only one of the Lycans that has a chance to chase down that truck that's speeding away. So let's take a look at the combat over here for just a moment. Let's zoom in. Ooh, zoom. Awesome. All right, so close combat. We have 16, and this is what I wanted to play. The Ferocity card. The Lycan's immense strength and animal speed catch the armored fighting vehicle platoon unaware, ripping men from their hatches, sowing fear. Close assault hits are applied as per 7.0, reducing and eliminating armored fighting vehicles, which is one of the art pieces. Oh, where's the art piece? Hold on. Oh, they got a. It's not here. I thought I had an art piece with me, but yeah, they got a picture of like from the game, a werewolf ripping people out of tanks and stuff. So yeah, it's a thing. So 16-4. What was that? 4-1 odds. That is hugely in favor of the Lycan. Trying to think what else I need. Yeah, you don't get a bonus or anything for the terrain for the defender. So yeah, it's 4-1. They're the attacker, and we're gonna roll 1 die 6. And yeah, they want to roll low. So I'm gonna get rid of ferocity. Discard. Roll low. 8. Not rolling low, but it is 3-5 odds. So the Lycan, which has armor and a morale of 4, saves 2, ignores the first hit. So the werewolf just shrugs off the DSHK shots coming at it. It's like 50 cal, but it's just like, you know, doesn't hurt it. Was it like 12.7 millimeter in Warsaw Pact terms? So it just shrugs it off. Now the tank has to make 5 saves. And they are also on a save of 4 because we played that card earlier. All fails. So after playing the ferocity card, that tank gets reduced. Well, first disrupted, reduced, so it's flipped, and then another damage destroys it. So totally ripped apart. And I'm not going to worry about putting a wreck marker out there, but yeah, to me, that's pretty cool. And gets rid of this focus marker that they had because tank is gone. All right, and the fired marker can come off because the vehicle that fired is gone. So that werewolf tears in. Now, I say that werewolf and I say that tank, but remember these are platoons. So I think that this Warsaw Pact, they're in like three tanks to their group. I don't think they call it quite a platoon, but it's like a wing or something like that. I'm not very good at my modern day Warsaw Pact organizational units, but I think it's 3. And then the werewolves, that could be, you know, it's more than 1. So a pack of werewolves descends upon these tanks that are, you know, trying to open up on the units over here, and those werewolves just go crazy. Yeah, this ripping people from hatches, and as they're trying to shut the hatches, they're just ripping those off and just pulling people out. It's a horrible bloodbath. Yay, way to go. And I think they get fired for that. All right, now what I'm going to do is just a quick, short check. Let's say everything else is done. We're going to take all the fired markers off. And we're going to say, let's see if during a turn 4 is worth the action. So we did our housekeeping, focus and aid. Soviet player is going to put an aid on this tank over here to fight because they're fighting a werewolf. And because there's some combat going on, maybe we'll put a focus on this tank right here. But it's going to come on the one side. So focus and aid is done for the Soviet player. Then we would have advanced a turn marker to turn 4. Now this is what's going to decide if it's worth carrying on. Again, red die for the Soviet, black die for the werewolves. Black die for the werewolves, so they will get to do their turn. Now the reason why that was important is because we wanted to see if Ledetta could undisrupt and then jet over and get that last truck. So first is the action card phase. Oh yeah, we're good here. So Lycans draw another burst of speed, which is exactly what she needs. Soviet player draws the KGB. Rally up to 2 units in the same hex. Reduce one of them. Oh, that sounds very, very Russian. What is left? Well, that's already reduced. So it says reduce 1. I don't know if a reduced unit for the KGB would eliminate it, but we won't fix that one. I don't want to fix them. You know what? We'll hold on to the KGB card. We don't have to spend it. Okay, so this is why this is cool. We have here a regenerate card for the werewolves, for the Lycan. It says return Lycan to undisrupted full strength. That's great because what I can do is play it on Ledetta, remove the disruption, and it says return to full strength. I might want to read the card on that and see if that means bring it from 4 back up to 6 for full strength. They do have in the rules the cards for me, thank goodness. And I'm going to see if maybe that particular card is here for me. There's a nice sequence of play in the back, but I thought we had card descriptions for me. Ferocity, they do. Oh, return to full strength. Champions heal 2 wounds. So perfect. We now have 2 wounds, full strength, Ledetta, regenerate, done. Okay, why is that important? Because now we got to play our burst of speed. Now remember, I can play two cards. Played 2. My second card is burst of speed on Ledetta, and we're going to skip fire phase. We shouldn't, because we really got to do aid and recovery, because fire comes first. It's possible that my defending Soviet units, like if we come back up north, so we healed Ledetta, fixed her up. Technically, they all have a chance to shoot and fire, but I don't want to do that. I just want to cut to the chase. There's a chance, dang it, that I could catch that truck, because firing comes before movement. Let's just see. All right, let's see if they get undisrupted. They're going to roll on their rally. Oh, and it's a new turn. So the Soviets are back to a 3 rally because they lost it. So 4, they stay disrupted. Great. Now we got to shoot. If they roll high, I don't know, maybe 6, firepower 6, it's on the 8, and they roll a 6. That's 3 saves. Come on, Ledetta, don't get disrupted. Maybe I shouldn't have played the disrupted. Technically she gets disrupted, but dang it, I want to kill that truck. One moment here. Alright, I was just checking my options to see what I could do. Yeah, I think, to be fair, there's no way I could actually really get over here, because again, once we get undisrupted and we shoot, we got that first hit, it does disrupt. So technically, yeah, I can't run over and attack the truck. I think for now it's just for fun. But honestly, at this point, decisions have to be made. I have actually destroyed quite a few Soviet vehicles and infantry that I don't think the Soviet player could catch up in points, like if they killed all the Lycans. And a lot of the Lycans are just going to do what they can to fade away into the dark. A nice hit and run ambush. So I think this is a Lycan victory. Small group against a large armed attacker. So just to kind of run us out, let's see what Ledetta can do to the truck. Now the truck can defend with a half because it's disrupted, but you always get a minimum of 1. So it's 12-to-1 odds, which takes us on the greater than 6-to-1 odds column. So they don't have a 12, it caps there. So greater than 6-to-1, which is pretty devastating if I roll low enough. So if I roll, of course I roll an 8. If I roll low enough, so I roll an 8. So that means it's 1 hit on the attacker and 7 on the defender. So 1 through 4 for Ledetta. She rolls a 1, so she's fine. Then I got to roll 7 of these things. Let's roll 7 of these math rocks. And the truck is dead. Dead. And I just bumped a bunch of those. Even if I didn't accidentally bump those, 3 would kill it. And then I had 1 more to roll. So it took 3 hits. So it's already reduced, right? So you disrupt it, it's already reduced, takes another hit, 2 would kill it. So just out of the fact that I wanted to, she could run under great, perfect circumstances, she could chase down the truck, hop into its hex, fight it to the death, and then score some points. But technically can't do that. But we'll end it there. Yeah, still to me, it's an interesting game. I like the fact that you have the weird warness in it, so you can play. And again, wrapped into the rules, not just tacked on at the end, you've got your vampire factions, werewolf factions, there's the witch, you know, they have the clans that support like the vampires and the werewolves. So there's, I think, thematically a lot going for it. Plus, you have the narrative campaign book, which will take you through, I mean, it really does kind of take you through like some basic kind of scenarios and increases their complexity with the things that you have to do. And then also, if you're interested, just the World War III portion, no paranormal at all, just a good old-fashioned tanks taking on tanks and infantry and things like that. So yeah, I still enjoy it, and glad I got to pull this out again and play this scenario, and I hope that gives you a little bit of an idea again on the werewolves, and I hope shows you a little bit how powerful the werewolves are. So if I bring it back here, you know, they were able to jump in and with the right card and a good dice roll, take apart tanks and other armored fighting vehicles. And then how tough they are. They can take a lot of hits. So like Tintani, one of the main champions there, took quite a few hits and then has regeneration. And, you know, if you remember to disrupt them and through card play, keep them from flipping, but, you know, he can come right back. And then they all have different abilities, so not all of them have shields, not all of them have regeneration. But Lidetta also has the lucky roll, which I forgot. She rolled an 8 when attacking that truck, but I forgot she's lucky. So her second dice roll would have been a 7. Not much different, but yeah, it would have been 0-8. So no hits on the werewolf, but 8 hits on the truck. So that 1 point can sometimes make a difference. Well, anyway, I'll go ahead and wrap it up here, and we'll post this up for you. So I hope you enjoyed kind of watching the conclusion of that particular battle, and we'll see you for the next video. Thanks a lot.